All right, awesome. I'm going to assume that it's live, and I'll let you know in just a minute what's going on, Bryan.
What's up? What is up?
Not.
Man,
Oh,
I did the same
that's
thing.
loud. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to mute it. It's gonna do it right now, actually. Hopefully, it doesn't. It's not too loud.
I don't hear anything, but
Oh,
you
in
have
ears.
your. Oh, yeah, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, my in ears are working just fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got you on my Edifier Studio, uh, whatever the hell they're called,
Yeah,
monitors, studio monitors. But I get the Yeti X, and so it takes care of all that business. But what's going on, man?
not much. Not much. I'm trying to get used to the new UI for YouTube. I don't know if you have noticed. They rolled out a new UI, and I don't know how much. I don't think I like it.
On what? On desktop? On mobile?
I'm on desktop right now. I mean, I've seen it for a couple of days now, but I think this is a huge oversight. They messed up. There's no way to interact with the live stream besides chat. It's kind of annoying. Let me see.
Oh,
There we go.
I'm gonna pull it up on my desktop right here. So
Yeah, just have to close the chat and then show it. That's
oh
kind of dumb. But
yeah. Well, I mean, you and I can post comments all day over here on the back end of StreamYard. What's up? Whoop, that's not how you spell it.
yeah.
I don't know how many people are on. I'm not looking. Oh no, I just closed out one of my windows.
Uh-oh.
Bummer. That's okay. I don't need to see. Um, so we're here to talk about. We're doing some. Are you doing a Deadpool project or something completely different?
You know what? This could be a Deadpool project, but not that kind of Deadpool project.
Oh, okay.
You haven't seen what I'm working on, which is funny. So
Okay.
But yeah, no, I just doing more visual effects, more Houdini stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been working on something literally all day, and I finally got the effect to work the way I wanted it to. So I'm pretty excited right now. So
Okay. Well, do you want to show that off? So just to kind of make a quick intro, I'm working on some Deadpool. This poster that you see right here, I am going to turn it. This is something I did in Staple Diffusion, and I kind of merged obviously Wolverine and Deadpool because I'm so flippin' excited for this movie. Like I just can't wait, and we can talk about that in a couple minutes. But so I got this guy, and back when I was in design school, I kind of fell in love with poster design. I haven't actually done much at all, but I looked into doing that in Hollywood, and then I ended up getting a job that was in transportation, like doing design and video editing and photo, all that stuff, media production in transportation industry. So I kind of there's no poster design stuff in that. But anyway, with all this stuff, I'm kind of finding my love for it again. So
nice.
so I will be working on this guy, and I'm hoping I have a hard stop at 9. I can't, so it's 2 hours. And we may or may not go that long. I know you said you might have to leave early. And D.Will, for those that are here, D.Will is going to be joining us in a little bit. He's probably going to be here in about half an hour or so. But yeah, so that's the quick update right now. Did you want to take over the screen and kind of show us what you're working on, Bryan?
Yeah, I can do that right now. Actually, give me 2 seconds. Let's jump on. Yeah, you can give me the screen. So anyways, I believe I'm already sharing. I just figured this out, and this is what I mean. This could be a Deadpool shot. This is a nice little, like, you landed on the ground and the ground deformed. Like, look how cool that is. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out.
Yeah. So is that's not part of the other thing where you said the guy swinging the hammer? Is that
no? This is
not part of it.
Completely different. I woke up this morning and I was like, I wonder it would be cool if we did this. So I was like, all right. But I couldn't get it to work for the longest time, but I just now got it to work. So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But no, I actually have that other shot open too, though.
So what program were you in just that you were just showing the stuff that you woke up and said, I'll do something completely different?
Yeah, that's Houdini. So this is the same thing that this is also Houdini right here. This is that shot you were just talking about that I did over the weekend.
Yeah.
Still a work in progress. But last week, this is the shot that I match moved. So you're looking at the match move shot right now with the guy running. That's why he's running in front of the legs. He's not rotoed in yet. But I got the ground fracture in. Looks pretty cool. It's going to swallow the guy alive
Yeah.
once it's done, and then I'll texture it, and this should be a finished shot. I'm actually really happy with this effect. It actually came out really good.
Yeah, no, it's really sick. When you sent me the update on Discord, like you sent me two actually. You did it at nighttime, and then I woke up to another one. So I guess you were working at night or whatever. So, but no, yeah, it looks sick. I really look forward to seeing the final result. I love seeing the behind the scenes and like how this stuff is done, but like I can only imagine how the final result's going to pop out. So
Yeah, I'm really excited. I really am trying to spruce up my my own portfolio. But yeah, I'm trying to spruce up my own portfolio, but at the same time too, like this looks, this is just practice for me. Like I just woke up this morning and sorry, I should probably turn on streamer mode. I'll do that right now. So I woke up this morning, wanted to do a little bit of practice as well. I also was preparing because I'm also lecturing my visual effects 1 class right now. And if you guys want to see what we're doing in there, here's something pretty cool. Yesterday we investigated multifracturing. Hey Isaiah. And then we investigated multifracturing, which is this bad boy right here. So a little bit of multifracture, and then how to generate sim, particle sim with it, and then a volume sim. So it looks like someone just smashed into it. And then tomorrow, the students are actually going to do this effect right now. Fun fact about this one right here: it's 2 seconds long, right? This sucker took 2 hours to render this morning.
yeah, of course
GPU.
it did. Yeah.
Using the GPU. Can you imagine if I used the CPU? Oh my gosh.
What kind of GPU power are you running?
Let's take a. I'm not going to pull that up actually. No, we're running.
Okay.
We're running 3 series, so 3080s in here on these laptops. This is pretty souped up laptop. So it was actually I was actually pretty shocked it took that long. What actually took it is because all right, I'll tell you guys. I drove the settings for the resolution through the roof just to see what this laptop could do in GPU. We found the limits, but it looks so good. You don't see any stepping right. I mean, you see a little bit of stepping right here. Like if you look really close, you can see some stepping. But I added motion blur since it has a lot of velocity behind it. And so tomorrow my students are going to be doing this in class. So which will be pretty fun. I'm going to do a lecture on this tomorrow. It's actually really easy to do. I was actually shocked how easy that was to do. But and then of course this is what I've been working on all day. That was me messing around, just testing the fracture, and now here we are. I may be playing with the constraints a little bit, but yes, Deadpool just landed on your parking structure, or not Deadpool, but give me a hero, that just landed on your parking structure. Actually, the Hulk. Think about it.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Think about it. It's got to be heavy, got to be strong, landing from up high. Yeah. Now it is too even. I have to give some noise to the fracture here. But it is so good. Yeah, I'm just so glad I was finally able to figure it out. I need to go in and create some orientations on this. I'll do that tonight at some point if I have time. But yeah, just really excited. As we were going live, Dave's like, "What are you working on?" I was like, "Well, I just figured this out like seconds before we went live, so I'm pretty happy right now."
Right on, man. Yeah, that's whoop. Yeah, Isaiah said Hulk. Yeah. My computer is lagging a little bit, so give me just a second. And I'm mirroring something. I'm mirroring a second screen over. I don't know why it's doing this. There shouldn't be doing this, but like my mouse is it's untenable to like move. Jesus. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay, come on. Something's going on.
Let's try this. I'm gonna try something here. While you're fixing that, I'll do this live on stream. I don't know if this will actually work the way I want it to, but we'll see.
Let's see what happens.
And then we'll see string relationship. Glue. I don't know
Oh,
if this is
that
gonna
helps a
work,
little bit.
but we're gonna see. It's working. It's working. Sort of.
Nice. Okay, I got my screen power back. I don't.
Cool.
I think it was. I don't know. I've been trying this new setup with mirroring my display over to my iPad Pro, and it just that's just what it was. So I just need to get a second monitor versus this like mirrored display situation that Apple does, which is it's awesome, but apparently not good enough for this. So, um, all right, cool. Should I take over the screen?
Yeah, go for it. I'm just gonna keep breaking my computer right now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. All right.
oh, there we go. That looks better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for those that have joined us recently, this is what I'm going to be working on. I'm turning this. This is a stable diffusion image that I created to merge the two awesome guys into one, and I'm adding a claw. And I did a little bit of work on this already just to see if I could make it work right, which I'll show you that process. But before we get to that, I want to talk about how amazing and awesome Deadpool is because I know that you're not going to be here the whole stream, and I want to get your take on it, Bryan.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So let me share my screen and get this guy out.
I'm maximizing my screen. This is
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Okay. So now Deadpool is one of the best. I think the one of my favorite movies, and it's because I mean this was during the golden age of the Marvel movies, I think. But this was a Fox thing, right? I mean, this was before, or it was before they were part of Disney, anyway. So, um, one of the things that I love about Deadpool so much is what we're going to see here is this is Deadpool 2, so it's showing the Juggernaut. I have two scenes from Juggernaut, and one of the reasons why I love it so much is because they kept the enormity of the comic books. So like Juggernaut is freaking huge, right? He's like larger than life. The whole idea is he towers over everybody, just like mows through everything. And I feel like the original X-Men, when I think it was like X2 or X3 or whatever it was, when Fox had it in the beginning, they had Juggernaut, but he was just a jacked dude with, you know, a helmet that didn't quite look right. Whereas in this, they did such a good job with showing the enormity and the comic side of things. So that's one of the things that I love so much about Deadpool. But you can see this, right? The
Yeah.
movie screen. Okay, I'm going to try to maximize. There we go. So you should still be able to see that. Let me bring this up a little bit more. I don't know what it looks like on your end. So, okay. So this is when we see Juggernaut.
Where are you?
Oh, I love that so much.
Russell. Russell, you're okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, my God. Juggernaut. Woo! I thought that was you. I should have worn my white pants. You probably get this a lot, but I am a huge fan. Uncanny X-Men 183, Thor 411, X-Men Unlimited 12. You know, it has always been a dream of mine to see my face reflected in your helmet as you charge at me with murderous intent. I don't mean right now.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
That is such a Juggernaut thing to say. Oh, 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 oh my God.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it there. I love this. I love this so much in so many ways. There's a few CGI things that I want to get your take on.
Yeah.
But overall, like this thing just caught my attention so much because, like I said, he's enormous. They keep the comic side of things, especially Ryan's performance as Deadpool, where he's like swinging his arms and like it's just like it. To go back to the conversation we were having with Jurassic Park about like you get lost in what the process. So if there are any like little blips or something, I enjoy it so much that I didn't really notice any blips. And I don't want to pick it apart. If you want to pick it apart, go for it. But like I just love it so much. One of the things right here you see, like he's got his hand still has the bullet hole through it, and he's got other bullet holes. And I mean, he's dismembered here. I'm not going to show that, but
Why not?
the Well, I don't know. Is YouTube cool with that? I mean, maybe.
No,
I
I
guess.
don't think YouTube is cool with that.
No. Okay. Well, he's touching his legs over here. But, um, so where is he? Grabs his this too, like the size of the hand, just like again, this is just the enormity of the comics, and they just freaking nailed it. And I love it so much. This was quintessential Deadpool, and like the whole process of the making of the movie and staying true to the character and everything. And I love it. Like I love this. But so I do have another scene that I have a couple things I want to get your take on from the like rotoscoping perspective, because it seems like it would be challenging. But do you have any thoughts on this particular scene that we just watched? Or
No, I mean, I believe Frame Store is the headliner here. At least I think Frame Store is the one that did Juggernaut. I could be mistaken here. I have to look it up. But Frame Store if you guys don't know, is a really big VFX house in the industry. They're actually really well known because they do a good job of hiring in new artists, new students. So like they always have internships and apprenticeship programs. Anyways, but I think one of the big things here is that Juggernaut was brought back into the Marvel universe through Sony. I mean, this isn't actually the MCU per se yet. It is now, but they brought Juggernaut in, and this was a fan favorite. And of course, Juggernaut being kind of a mess from X-Men 3.
yeah,
Like a lot of people were pretty upset about that. But yeah, this is a CG character, and I mean, great frame to pause on. I mean, the lighting is just so good. I mean, this scene right here is just so well done. Obviously, this is a CG double for Ryan Reynolds in this. Like I said, I think Frame Store did Juggernaut, but I know Blur Studios is still the major studio that worked on this. And in fact, Method Studios worked on this as well too. I just pulled it up and did a Google search. Method did this, worked on this as well. Weta worked on this as well. Yeah, there's just a lot of studios that worked on this. So I'm not entirely sure who exactly did this one. Let me see here. Framestore is also for shots featuring Colossus and Juggernaut. So I think Framestore was on this one. 5 main sequences, the big fight between Colossus, Juggernaut, Cable, the Pascal, breaking news, accident. So yeah, I mean, it's just the complexity of these shots too. What I love about movies now is that you have so many different visual effects houses that are working on these shots, so they can really spend time working on these specific shots, make it look really good. This looks amazing. Look at the destruction around him. I think this is a set piece with photography, and he is actually matted in with CG. Very little rotoscope needed. I think the next shot you said has rotoscope, or you believe there's rotoscope.
I think so, and there's some complexity to the shot, and I'll show it to you. It's when they go to the school, but this is about the only place, this scene when he's talking, this is about the only place where I felt like, I don't want to say it fell apart, but it like you can kind of notice a little bit when he's talking that the shadows are a little bit off.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So I'll do that again because that was kind of fast. So I got it muted, but it just feels like the mouth is maybe off a little bit.
Don't mean right now.
I'm gonna rip you in half.
Like, yeah. When you pause it, it doesn't look bad, but it's during the movement. Maybe it's because I know with CGI lips, it's difficult to get things right. And I know when Henry Cavill had to be Superman, and like they had to like digitally take off the mustache. That's a problem. I know that one of the things that they loved about Smeagol so much in Lord of the Rings, the original ones, was like they got his lip tension really well, and like that was really hard to do. So, yeah, it's just.
It goes back to what we talked about last week. It's there's a lot more. There's editing, lighting, and pacing, and just direction of the eyes that go into a lot of these shots. There's no perfect VFX out there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm noticing it too. Like there's a little bit of what we call lip flap. It's very common with CG animation. Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, and the only reason why I think I notice it as much is because it's really the only noticeable thing. And at least for me, my eyes are drawn to his lips because he's talking. And I think from like a personal like when people are talking, we have a tendency to sometimes look at their mouth as they're talking. but I think maybe that's the only reason. But it wasn't bad. Like it's not something to like tear apart. Um, but I love like his helmet is so like scratched up, his hands, like the dirt underneath his nails and around, like they got that so well. So yeah, anyway, I love this movie. So yeah, I will go on to the next clip unless you had something else that you wanted to talk about there.
No, this is perfect. This is good.
Okay. So give me just a sec. Yo, it's Brad Mason. How you doing, Bradley? Okay, so that was Deadpool encounters Juggernaut. It's got to be this one here. So this one, maximize that guy. Okay, so I'll play this scene and then I'll talk about it. So one of the things that I'm curious of your take on is when we see Juggernaut walking across the screen, he crosses a chain link fence and then he has a pole. Now the pole would be a lot easier to rotoscope around, but the chain link fence I think would be really tough. But I'm curious on your thoughts, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play here.
Beat it, midget.
Hey, big guy. The sun's getting real low. Shit, Bucker.
So sorry, that was the wrong part of the clip, but that also has the Wilhelm screen, which is why I put it in. So it's actually a little earlier. Give me just a sec. It's when they first see him coming across. It's probably like around here. Oh, it's going to be right in the beginning.
So you wear that helmet because your brother tries to read your mind?
Yeah, but he's in a wheelchair, so even Steven.
Someone's coming. It's Russell, sir.
So like you see right in the beginning, this chain link fence, and then he goes past this pole, and then you have this chain link fence, and they rise over all that. Well, not actually fully over it because half his body is still obstructed by it. But like, wouldn't that be incredibly difficult? Or maybe is this fence going to be a CGI, or like how would that work?
Okay, so there's a couple things that could be done here. This fence could likely be CGI. You can. There are tricks and techniques to do to roto out the fence. Though, like the fence could be real. I'm hard pressed to believe that the cinematographer and the DP were on set and were like, "Hey, let's go ahead and just shoot through this fence." They probably added this in post. If you back up a little bit, or maybe if you send me the link, actually, here we go. It's X-Force versus Jug.
Here, I'll send it in the. Can you get it in? Let's see. Oh, actually, there's a private chat in the back end of. Yeah, there you go. I'll just send it there. That might be. I don't know if that's actually the right timestamp. You might have to back it up, but I'm at 6 seconds.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it right now. You know what? That could be real. That could be real, actually. I'd be curious to see how they actually did it. Or it could be photo and they put it in as well. It does seem to be holding together pretty well, though. But again, I'm focusing on it now. When I watched this movie live, I didn't really care that much about it.
Yeah, I didn't. This is one of those things where I really almost hardly ever try to see the CGI of movies because I don't want it to be ruined for me.
Yeah.
But it's just, especially because of our conversation the other day, this is so, like, they keep blocking him. You know, they keep having to roto him out of the. I mean, this is a big object, so this would be a lot easier than like a chain link fence. But it's like they're just having fun with it. But then again, at the same time, maybe they don't have to create the whole model as clearly if they're just going to keep blocking it. I don't know. But like, look, I mean, he's right here too. Like they treated this so well. I don't even know how much of the CG of the mask is CGI. I know that with Deadpool, like the eyes and Spider-Man, the eyes, obviously that's all CGI, but anyway, yeah. So that was it. Those are the only clips that I wanted to show, and I wanted to get your hot take on that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Deadpool is there is a lot of CG characters in there. I mean, the whole idea of doing Deadpool 1 was a passion project by Tim Miller, who is at the time, he hadn't really done any feature films with Blur Studios, and he really wanted to do Deadpool. Deadpool being one of his favorite characters. So we got Deadpool 1 out of that, and a lot of it was because it was CG. And if you remember the first Deadpool, there's a lot of shots in there where it's like rubber band Deadpool, like he doesn't actually look, and that's it works. And you see the same thing here too in this whole sequence. You see him being flung around, thrown through some spikes, and then Colossus is there. But for the most part, the action sequences hold up. I do think it is interesting that they do a good job in this movie of integrating their CG characters. So you see Juggernaut walking behind assets, not just in front of the plate. It makes you believe that he's part of the plate. That's just very directorial. I'm going through some of these shots though right now, and there are some shots here that just don't hold up. In my knee-jerk reaction in my eyes. Specifically with Juggernaut. And I think a lot of that is because of the scale of the character. It is so hard. I mean, we were talking about the T-Rex last week. It is so hard to get a bigger, like a giant. He's what, 10 feet tall, and to make him look believable in these action sequences. But I think they do a good job because they push in tight. But when they go widescreen and you see him like running, it's a little weird.
Yeah. There's there at 252 where he's got Deadpool and he's swinging him around. It looks like Deadpool is on a green screen. It's got that kind of effect, but that's like a second or maybe 2 seconds where that happens.
Well, exactly. And I'm a little bit further ahead right now. So if you keep going, you're about to see a scene of him running right there. You just passed it actually. So right there, that shot where he's landing on the seesaw is just a little weird.
Oh, right there. Okay,
yeah.
And she's in a green screen there, and I see what you're talking about.
It holds up though. And one of the cool things is when you're editing action sequences, you can get away with a lot more because the camera's moving a lot, and so the audience doesn't have a lot of time to sit there and look at what they're actually looking at. Same thing, like with the dinosaur shot last week. Like that's the exact same concept that you're having right there.
Well, the other thing too, in theaters, you have a higher quality image than what's especially on streaming right now. And like, that's just, it's such an important thing to remember too. Like when you see stuff in theaters, it looks so much better than it ever will on TV. I think Blu-ray will give you the highest quality to keep, but it's still not going to be the same quality to the best of my knowledge. No, I going back to Oppenheimer when we were talking about that, I will not watch Oppenheimer on streaming because I loved that movie so much, the whole experience, and seeing that in IMAX. And I think it was on Disney Plus or maybe Peacock, or was one of the streaming services that I have. And so I just let it go for, I don't know, a minute, and the audio quality is way reduced in streaming. And I mean, I knew that was going to be the case, but like I had good headphones, like my good headphones on. And I was just like, oh, I feel bad for everybody experiencing it this way. Cause it's at that point just going to be a movie, I guess. Like it's still a good movie, but even Christopher Nolan said, like, really watch it in Blu-ray. Cause that's going to be the best case scenario to get the same experience or as much of the experience as possible. So,
yeah, I mean, streaming is catching up. It's not that far. I mean, Netflix streams in 4K. A lot of these platforms, Prime Videos in 4K, Ultra HD, and most TVs, like the reality is, most TVs are still 1080. So, I got to look at the percentage. It's changed. Actually, I can just look at it right now. I got Google. Let's see, percentage of TVs in US that are 4K. As of March 2021, so that's the latest data that I can get from Statista, is only 44% of US had 4K capable TVs. So it's less than half. Yeah, it's less than half. So, okay, here he goes. Let's see. I have more data now from 2023. I may not be able to get it because it's Statista. But yeah. It's by age. Anyways, you get the point. So... Although here I have another data set that says it's up to 66%. So it is more than I had thought, actually. So 66% is not that bad. But that's still 40% of your market here in the US that does not have 4K. So you have that, and it's also really expensive to make 4K. So I remember when we were talking about, I was working at a post house called Blueprint, and they were looking at possibly getting the gear to start doing 4K post production. And when they looked at the cost, now granted, this is like 6-7 years ago, they looked at the cost, they're like, yeah, this isn't worth it. And so they dropped the whole idea. I'm pretty sure it's a lot cheaper now, but it's not cheap to do 4K or higher. So
yeah, no, and I think with 4K, you got the better options with 4K, but it's already so expensive with streaming. It's like $15 if you don't want the ads. And so 4K, I think it was like another maybe $10. And I mean, if it's worth it, it's worth it. But I'd rather, in this case, just buy the movie, because it gets real expensive. You get a few things that you subscribe to, and you're bankrupt. So
yeah.
So all right, so I'm gonna start working on this thing, since I do want to try to get this done before the stream is out. So this is my poster that I was working on. So I have the original this is one of, I made like, I don't know, like 100 versions of these to try to get it right. And in Stable Diffusion, you can see this is as close as I could get. Sorry, let me get rid of, there we go, the claw. So this is the closest thing I could get to what I was looking for. But he's holding a sword, but he's got two swords up on his back. So I got to erase one of those swords. And then we got some guy here in the background that looks kind of menacing. I might keep that. I might not. I don't know. But I want to add, since this is a mixture of Wolverine, I'm adding claws. So that's him giving the finger, which was unintentional. It was just, there we go. So what I did was, I had another image that I created. This was one of the best Wolverine images that I could get with the claws. I was really just worried about the claws, because what I wanted to do was grab those claws and throw them on my guys. So that's what I'm working on, and just trying to mask that out. And my idea here is, one of the things that I love about movie posters are the simple ones, the ones that are very impactful, but they're just simple. There's one movie, you might know it. It was a Matthew McConaughey, and it was just a very close up shot of him just looking right at you. And it was very textured, and had a lot of kind of contrast. It was very, I don't know if it was black and white, but from what I remember, what I'm thinking, it was just a black poster and then maybe a black and white image of him. And you could see like he had stubble and everything. And it looked kind of like a serious movie. I have no idea what it was, but I just remember walking to another movie and I saw that and I stopped, because I have a tendency to, like, at movie theaters, I just like to sit and look at movie posters. It's just like, that's like my art gallery. So one of the things that I really like about the Deadpool movies is, this is one of the let me just turn that off, because we don't need it. This is one of the movie posters that I really liked, and then here's the other one. And they just keep it only in cinemas July, or only in theaters July 26th. There's some sort of like small writing. Oh, copyright. And then just the Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel Studios. But like, this doesn't even show you anything other than this is the tease. Obviously who these characters are, but I love these kinds of posters. They're very simple, which is kind of my design aesthetic anyway. I have traditionally, in anything that I design, it's very minimalistic, very masculine style. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm going to go with that. I have a kind of an idea of where I was going with this. I did a match font to try to figure out what this font was. And it came up with a couple different options, but I like the text is called Obviously. And it's it's a huge text font family. This is the font family here. You got compressed, all versions of compressed. Can you guys see this? This thing that popped up my window? I don't know if it will pop up with the the little pop up. Does it show you the different fonts that are popped up right now?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, there's if you go to I guess I could share my entire screen, but the font family is just it's got like 100. It's got compressed, narrow, wide, like, and then all levels of that where it's italics and bold and medium and regular. Like it's a crazy font anyway, but it's called Obviously. Um, so that's what I'm working on, but I really want to add in these claws. I don't have a ton of work that I'm going to do in this other than add the claws, add the text, fix some things like taking out his blades here, and then there's some artifacts here that are going to be super easy to remove. And then I'm just going to do some color adjustments and whatnot to it. So yeah, that's where we're going.
Nice. I like this, how it's kind of laid out. It's put them in the movie theater. And
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah.
I think you saw the short. You might have even shared it. I don't remember.
I did.
Yeah, the one with me kind of freaking out over doing this. I'm just like, dude, I'm so excited. My cousin got us he got us some tickets for opening night. And yeah, super stoked. Are you going to see this?
I don't know. Probably, maybe not. We'll see. I've got a friend that wants to go with me to go see it, but we'll see. The last couple, I did not see Deadpool 2 in theaters. I saw it when it came out.
Okay. What did you think about Colossus? So one of the things that I loved that they actually had Colossus as Colossus, and like again, big Colossus, not X2 or X3 Colossus, where he was bigger, but he could have just been like a normal human with scaly skin, you know. Colossus was one of my boys when I would actually read the comics, and I love what they did and actually had him larger than life. I was bummed they kept him permanently in Colossus mode, but that, I mean, that's a small thing. I'm just glad that they had him. Did you have any thoughts on him or no?
Yeah, I thought like I mean, reflective materials have come so far. If you think about it, like think about the reflective characters that we've had in the past, such as like Terminator 2,
Yeah.
and metallic characters like that. Even the Silver Surfer, right? Colossus looks so good. And I was pretty happy with how that came out. Yeah, it was interesting they kept him in Colossus in his actual superhero form, his mutated form, the entire time. I remember that, taking note of that. I was like, that's weird, but you know, I didn't really stick out to me that much. I thought it was great, and plus, he's not a central character. He's a supporting character, anyways. It's a Deadpool movie, but yeah, I actually really like the character in there, and I thought like the CG in Deadpool 2 really held together. We've gone so far where like to get nitpicky with CG, you're looking for coffee cups.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not to say there's not bad CG out there. There's definitely bad CG out there, but I don't usually blame the artist for that. These artists know what they're doing. So
yeah. Well, I felt like maybe it was a conscious decision. I mean, obviously it was a conscious decision to not have him, but I wasn't sure if maybe it was because the transformation would have cost too much to try to, figure that out, or have another normal human looking, maybe jacked, but like, human sized actor. Then you have to, pay the actors fees and, SAG and the whole thing, whereas they could just have the one actor for a CG Colossus. I don't know if it was maybe something like that.
I don't know, actually. That's a good call. I mean, I'll have to go do some research on that. I mean, that could very well be the case, but like I said, I think it held together really, really well. I really did.
No.
So
yes. I also like how they kept him a Boy Scout. That was one of the things that I really liked about him in the comics,
Yes, absolutely.
So if you want to share something, if you wanted to share your screen, just let me know. I'm just
no, you're good. You are good. I am just currently, like I said, working a little bit on this shot behind the scenes. There's something really interesting to see right now. But
okay.
One of the things though, like I like watching watching these movies as well too, is the destruction effects, of course, since I am an FX artist. And like MCU movies, but also the Deadpool movies. But the MCU movies are rife with destruction effects. So whenever like we pull up a Marvel movie, I'm just like, okay. And I know like D.Will is supposed to be joining us, and apparently he likes Marvel. So
Oh yeah. Well, that was one of the reasons why. Actually, is he here? No, he's not. Okay.
no, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. I told him because I can't see any notifications or anything, so I told him to ping me on the comments. So let me jump back over to Photoshop. Yeah, no, he's a super comic book guy. He loves comic books. He's decent about his knowledge about Deadpool. Deadpool wasn't really his like go-to guy. I can't remember who his go-to guy was. Mine was Spider-Man and the Hulk. I really resonated well with the Hulk. Kind of like those big beastie guys, even like in not Marvel, but like Disney, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I really resonated with him a lot when I was younger. So like, you know, that kind of thing. But Spider-Man was really my guy. I was also a nerd in high school. So, well, junior high, really. Well, both, but it wasn't as big a deal when I was in high school to be a nerd. Now it's cool to be a nerd, from what I understand.
Well, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm so far removed from like that culture. But yeah, all my friends around me. I mean, I look at the college I teach at. It's Nerd Central, right? Like, so
yeah. But yeah, I got nieces and nephews that are like, they're talking about it like legitimately being cool to do this thing called Dungeons and Dragons, you know?
Yes.
And actually, it's getting kind of cool to do these like chess parties, because I think people are so tired. Kids with Gen Z are so tired of the constant internet stuff, and they're starting to push against it, like the social media and everything. But yeah, so that's my understanding of it. But I'm an old fogey at this point, you know. I mean, Jesus, I might as well have ridden dinosaurs. Just for those that are interested, what I'm doing here is, like I said, I'm masking everything out, masking out these claws. I put a very bright green layer. This is a really good way to see what you haven't masked. You can always hit the backspace key and see everything that's in red will show you what's masked out. All the black areas are actually going to show up in red here. But sometimes, depending on the transparency, you still might not see it, or like you might not notice it. Whereas like you see these black spots here now because I have this really vibrant green. Now it's not really that big a deal because of what it's up against. So I mean, like, this is one of those cases where looking at the size that it's going to be, if you turn this off, like nobody's ever going to see those little things, but it's a really nice, easy way to make sure that your masks are good, is to throw up a really garish color like that. Vibrant. Like I'll usually go with a bright green or bright magenta. I don't know if you can hear my dog.
I can.
But,
yeah, we can totally hear your dog.
Okay.
I'm in the studio. Oh, D.Will's in.
Oh, all right. Let's see. All right, D, I'm gonna throw you up here. You good? I don't see your face. I'll wait till I see your face. Oh, there's your face. Okay. I'm gonna add you in. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Everybody say hi to D.Will. What's up, everybody? Hey, D.Will.
Peace. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
How you doing?
Getting in a hard day's work, you know, earning my keep. How's everything going?
That new video editing machine is not going to by itself, so yeah.
Exactly. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, not bad. Starting to cool down over here. It's been real hot.
Okay. Well, isn't that the opposite of what it's supposed to be doing?
It's May, so we're jumping into summer here. I mean, we had a really good spring. We're still in spring, but you know, we're having a little bit of a heat wave, but our heat wave is like it's actually been 80. It's like 86
Okay.
and humid though. That's where it's been a little bit uncomfortable.
Is that cable in the background and that's that silhouette back there?
Oh, this here, sure. That was just something that happened with my. So I did this in stable diffusion, D, and
Okay.
what I'm doing here is I'm adding the claws in right here, and this was like my out of the 100. It was close to 100 images that I made in total, and probably about like 70 of them look like this, but it's different variations of how things got combined. And so I was trying to just really hone down stuff. And what's interesting is that like with stable diffusion, you can tell it a certain thing and it won't produce what you're asking, but it'll produce a weird result. So you might have to have a line in there and you're like, oh, I want like this was supposed to be a version of like baby Wolverine and baby no, I'm sorry. Initially my prompt was Deadpool holding a baby Wolverine, but like Hugh Jackman baby Wolverine. And so it combines the two together. And so that was that was interesting. But I kept going with it and I played back and forth with it. Let me see if I have the other image. I don't think I do. I have another Deadpool image that I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. So I got this one was one of the first ones I was going with. And I really liked this for a bunch of reasons, but I ended up once I got over to this guy, I was like, oh yeah, that's I like that. I like where that's
the
going.
amalgamation of the two. That's dope.
Yeah. So happy little accident. And like this, I'm gonna do a little thing on it later, probably. A little tutorial on how to use Photoshop for certain things. But yeah, so this guy. Yeah, so maybe let's say that's Cable. Why not?
Sure.
I wasn't sure if I was going to take him out or not, and so you're into sword play. This I imagine, yeah, this sword would be this sword, right? Because yeah, he's going to reach right and take that one out left. Yeah, okay. I know that you could cross over. So like, would you cross over, or would you just? Because I feel like if you pull this one out, the reason why I say that is because I need to remove one of these, and I don't want it to be the wrong one.
I would say
you wouldn't cross over like that
because there's like a curve in the sword. Yeah. I would try which way is the sword facing on his back. And
you know what? Hold on.
That.
Okay. So if I got this guy, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I feel like, geez, I couldn't be Deadpool. I can't pull that thing out all the way. I feel like, but it's going out towards his shoulder like that.
But if you flip the sword, like if you just twist it, now it'll come out the way that you want it to come out.
So like this one would be my left hand. Yeah, I guess. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Like you said, if you twist it, but maybe it doesn't. You know what? You could do some research, throw it up, see what maybe we should watch the movies and see which one he pulls out. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Everybody's gonna be watching the movie, analyzing it. Like, which way is the sword facing?
So which one should I pull out? This one?
I would keep the. Well, are you gonna delete the handle on the?
Yeah, I'm gonna remove the handle on one of them. I feel like
keep the one on his right because I feel like that would be the one that you would pull out.
So keep the one that's on his right, which would be our left. So
yeah,
so this guy, keep that one.
I would keep that one because I feel like it'll be easier to pull that out as opposed to going across and pulling it out.
You think the same thing, Bryan?
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So 3 people rule. And so if you guys are in the comments and you have an opinion, go ahead and tell us, and maybe I will change it later. It's not really the end of the world, but so this is actually a really good thing to point out. I've been on the Photoshop Reddits and Facebook pages, and it's surprising how many people don't use generative fill. And so I see a lot of people
Really?
and they're using lots of old school techniques. Super cool. That's fine. That's totally fine. But a lot of times generative fill will just like take care of it in like a second. And so all you have to do to use generative fill, there's some people that never touched it. You just select it. So you just do this regular selection here. And so I'm just going to say generative fill. And if you leave it alone, it more than likely will just remove the object. But I'm just going to, just to make sure that that's what it does, I'm going to just say remove object. And then just hit generate and it'll do its magic. And you get three different versions up here. That you could choose from, and you can change your prompt and everything. So I guess I'm gonna end up having to do a generative fill tutorial, because it's I guess something that I take for granted. I thought that everybody was using it.
You think it's a lack of knowledge of its existence, or unwillingness to use it is why?
No, I think that it's maybe people might feel like it's a little intimidating because it's a lot of beginners, and so you do have people that kind of gatekeep and say, oh well, you got to do a clone stamp and you got to do this and attached where and blah blah blah, and yes, that's awesome to know how to do that stuff, and especially because generative fill doesn't always get it right the way that you want it, and so you have to know how to still do the edits the way that you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look, that took 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it came out with a damn fine result. And if you're doing this for a client, time is money. And if that became my best friend, I could have clone stamped this out and, it wouldn't have been that hard. But if I want to get rid of cable back here, it would be way easy to do that too. So yeah, that's, I think that's right. You know what? We should ask Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
We should sing him.
Yeah,
I'll ask him.
I'll hit him up on the old hand phone.
On the what?
On the old hand phone. You know what I mean?
The hand phone? Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, it's D.Will. How's it going?
Yeah.
Sorry for the bad connection. I'm on the hand phone.
Isaiah says, I'm going to say left because groupthink. I appreciate where you're coming from, Isaiah. I appreciate you just following your gut with being one of the cool kids. We're the cool kids, so so right on. So one of the things that I got to figure out how to do here, and I can do it the old-fashioned manual way, of actually like drawing it, and that's what I was thinking of doing. But I got an hour, and I don't know if everybody wants to watch me doing that. Is I have to put in, so his claws right now are just coming straight out of his finger, out of his fist. Versus like if you look here, this is my reference photo. He has this here, like so that the part that the claws come out of, just to kind of guide, I guess, where his claws come out of.
Yeah.
Which helps because if you had, I mean, yeah, they just come straight out of his flesh, but with the glove, if I wanted it to just come straight out of the glove, then it would have to be ripped open, and it's not right now. Now, again, it's not a big deal because, nobody's really going to notice, I don't think, or especially for this going to care, but I don't want to. I could, at the end of the day, I could just copy this here, and I could even just do it with the blades, to be honest, but I'm trying to do everything not by just grabbing the image and there's compositing it. I'm trying to do everything 100%. So whether or not I'll get this 100% tonight before we get off the before we get off the stream, I don't know, because that's going to take a little bit of work to paint that in and play with the shadows and whatnot. But
what are those called?
What's that? These things?
Yeah, like blade guides, knuckle.
Blade guides. Why not? Blade guides. I like it. Look, even on this, you can see the wear on these gloves, which is just, I love that they did that. They took so much attention to adding the texture. And this is like it's like when you have boxing gloves or any sort of like rubber material, like even my headphones here, you can see like the rubber is kind of wearing off. And so that's what they did. They paid such close detail to this. And even like I'm super zoomed in here. They even have like little hairs and like scratches, like even right here.
You remember the first Wolverine movie where they used the CGI claws?
Yeah, it comes out towards the camera.
Yeah, and they just looked all shiny and brand new.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it just looks like they've come a long way from then. Or
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I was really worried when I heard that they were gonna have Wolverine, that they were just gonna have bad claws, like really bad. Like he was always gonna have to wear the gloves in order for the claws to come out. And I felt like it was gonna be like a bad costume that you could
yeah,
get at like Halloween Spirit City or Spirit Halloween or whatever it's called. And so when I saw that happen, I was like blown away.
a part of me really wishes that they went mall ninja status and just went to like that local sword vendor at the mall and just got those blades that the Wolverine claws from there.
Yeah. So did you have something you wanted to show? Did you want to? Are you working on something?
I don't currently have anything at the moment.
Okay.
I was supposed to have it early around 4, but I got delayed and I didn't have anything set up.
No, that's all right. Quite all right.
But I enjoy seeing what you're doing though. Like,
Oh, I know. Whatever I'm working on is pretty awesome. It's always pretty awesome. Doesn't matter. Thinking. There we go. So let me see. Let me check in here. Oh, Bryan says.
So
he's
I
lagging.
discovered something.
What's that?
I discovered that if I type from here in StreamYard, it's you. So then just now we know. And then I logged over to the YouTube. I'm good now. I was running a sim and all of a sudden my whole screen just locked up. I could hear you guys sound like robots. But we're good.
Oh,
we're good.
Oh, wait. So that's interesting. So if you comment over on the comment section,
yeah,
I see it. I'm here but lagging. Interesting, because you're an admin, so it should show up.
Yeah,
as you. So in order to get you had to go into the YouTube app and then comment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if you want to make that silhouette back there be Cable, I think it's his right eye should be glowing yellow, have like a little electric eye back there.
So his right eye. So it would be.
I think it's his right eye.
Well, why don't you look it up for me? This has to be accurate.
Let's see. There we go.
So color, and we're gonna say, and what color is it? Like a gold? Is it like a
yellowish, comic booky yellow?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, well, find out. You're my research department.
Image.
They like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a solid color adjustment layer, and I'm just gonna mask it in. This is a conversation.
It's left eye, and it's a yellowishy color.
Okay, so it's his left eye.
Yeah.
So it'd be this guy over here. Okay. That guy right over there. I mean, that's not how we're gonna do it, but okay, cool.
Let me get a better.
Tim says, should there be a strap across his right shoulder too?
Ooh. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because he's got this. Well, let's ask my research department. Why don't you
D.Will.
find me
I feel like the guy, what's his name, off camera on the Joe Rogan show.
yeah.
Jerry? I don't know.
Steve? I don't know. Let me see what images I got
here. I might have been right. I think it is his right eye. No, it changes. I guess it depends on the artist, maybe. Or maybe
no, look at the movie. Hold on.
Wait, does his eye glow in the movie? I didn't see his eye glow.
Yeah, no, but you'll at least be able to see how jacked his eye is. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up here. I got a movie. Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. It's his left eye.
Okay. Yeah. Because these images might be flipped, because I'm looking at a few different ones and they're flipping back and forth.
You better watch out. I'm gonna fire you, man. Hold on, I'm going to show you. I just took a screenshot of the image. There we go. And it's kind of like it's actually kind of like a goldeny red color. All right, find out about that strap, would you?
Let's see. Well, what would you call that? Sort of sword strap?
Yeah, just take a look at Deadpool. Just like find some images of Deadpool. Right here, I have some official. It's an official movie poster. It looks like he's just got one strap here. Going to that one in the back there. Okay, so let's. There we go. So yeah, there's Cable's eye.
All the ones that I see, it looks like he only has one sword strap.
Nice, cool. Less work for me to do. Who was it? Isaiah that's trying to cause trouble?
No,
No,
you know
it's
what?
Tim.
Oh, it's Tim. Tim's trying to cause trouble.
You know what? It varies because sometimes he has gun holsters on.
Oh,
So it looks like he has two straps, but I think it's just one sword strap.
okay. I'm gonna go with that because that's what I got. And now I'm adding a Cable character over here. So there we go. All right. So let me go back to my solid adjustment layer. So this is something that I was talking to somebody on Reddit. Whoops, wrong way. About using masks to color things in, or solid color adjustment layers and masks, versus actually taking a brush tool on a new layer and actually like brushing in. There's reasons to do either or, but I have a tendency 9 times out of 10 to do this because if I want to, I'll show you exactly. So let's see. So we're gonna just add a little bit of white. Let's make this and just do. Bring down my flow, bring down my opacity quite a bit, and I'm just gonna like just put a couple little dabs in. And so the reason why I like to do this is because if I don't get the color right, so in this case it's a yellow, and it's supposed to be like an orangey red. So now that it's a solid color adjustment layer, you just click on this guy here, and then you just change the color however you want. And so you can see I can make it more of a blue color. I don't know if that's really coming through on the stream much, but you can see, like, there you go. I mean, you can see this changing real easy, and then I can play with it however I want, versus if I were to have done brush, just like a new layer and then doing a brush, you can still kind of do that, but it's an extra step. So if I were to, let's just say, I'll just pick a red color right now. And if I was to put this in, let me just 100%. Okay, so if I was to do this, that's my set layer. I could then make a hue adjustment saturation. So if I did red all over the place, and then later I wanted to change the color because I'm like, oh no, blue is way better in this scenario, then you can flip it to this guy, and then you can just do your hue saturation adjustment layer and just like play with it. So if you did have just the kind of I call it the old school way, but if you had it with just like the new layer with the brush, this is a good way to kind of change things around. But so that's my methodology for those that didn't ask. But I was having a conversation with somebody on Reddit, I think today, about it. So if that was you, there you go. Whoops. Okay, so if we're going to do this right, we have, if you look here, he's got kind of like this bright white in the middle, because it's kind of like a fire. When you look into a fire, like there's all sorts of shades of yellow and red and even blue. So, I mean, if we want to do this and make it accurate, you want to do the same thing. Boop, just duplicate that guy there. I'm just going to, wrong direction. I'm just going to black all of it out so we have a fresh layer. And I'm just going to make this really tiny. And then I'm going to pop this guy up. Just double click on it. Pop this guy up over here. Make it yellow. And then make sure you're on the mask. Boop. I said boop. There we go. That's a little too much. So we're going to do this and shift 1 to make a 10%. Might be a little too much, but
He's in the background.
He's in the background. It's not too bad. I might actually tone it down a little bit because he is in the background. It shouldn't be like too crazy. So anyway, that's that. So this is Cable. So I'm going to throw this up in my Marvel Assets folder and just turn that off. That actually doesn't look too bad, but I think what I'll end up doing after a while, I'm just going to let it sit because I want to see how I feel about it. I'll probably like actually expand it out a little bit to add a little bit of lens flare almost. You know, just so it's not just a point in time. Is Cable in the new movie? Scabbard, he says. Scabbard.
Good question. I haven't seen him in any of the trailers, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't think so, but who knows? I mean, this is time travel, or no? It's multiverse travel.
Yeah, because he's dealing with the same people from Loki, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen Loki season 2. I wasn't a fan so much of season 1. I felt like, I don't know. I also was getting, I think, what is it, Marvel fatigue or superhero fatigue, because we were just getting so many movies, and it felt
TV
like,
shows and-
yeah, they actually came out with an article that I saw recently that they said, number one, they're only going to do, I don't remember what the numbers are, but something like 2 movies a year or maybe 3 movies a year at max and 2 television shows, something like that. And because they don't want to, one of the things that they said was they don't want people to feel like they're fatigued because they have to watch everything. Because if you don't watch everything, then you're going to be lost. And so there's that, like, they're going to try to make it feel like that's not the case, which I think will bring people back like myself. I just got to the point where I was like, I don't have time to watch 5 shows. You know,
a
I'm
lot.
in the, you know, I'm busy watching Mad Men for the 20th time.
That's why I stick to DC.
So what do you think about
They do
the
horrible.
new Superman stuff coming on?
You know what? Like with DC, I like to not, watch the trailers or the I guess like the information that gets brought out about them because I feel like they spoil a lot of the movies through that.
Yeah.
But like I like their animated side of things a lot more than their live action at the moment. If it's true and they doing a Lobo movie, I'm super stoked for that.
Well, you know who's supposed to be Lobo, right? Or should I not tell you?
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
Jason Momoa.
There you
Jason
go.
Momoa.
And like
Well,
that's the perfect fit.
yeah. Yeah. Well, he said, like, when he got the part for Aquaman, he's like, what? Really?
It's like I came here for Lobo.
Yeah, like he's such a perfect Lobo. Like there's no way that it couldn't be him, you know? So
Only person I could see being Lobo, but it would have to be a young version of him, is Danny Trejo.
oh, I could see that. I could see that. I'm trying to see if I should even put in theaters. I kind of, okay, so actually D, you'll be able to kind of give me some good guidance on this, Mr. Graphics man. So I like the idea of, I don't remember if you saw, yeah, I showed these to you, right? So nice and simple. So I'm trying to do like a come together, and it's only in theaters. So I was thinking of doing like come together in theaters July 26th, but we could just say come together and not have it say in theaters. I don't want to say only in theaters because I want it to be kind of like a call to action of like everybody should come together July 26th.
Right.
So I feel like maybe less is more, but what are your thoughts?
I like how it's just come together July 26th at the top, and if you want in smaller text, below centered below in the popcorn area, you could put only in theaters or in theaters.
Excuse me.
What are your
Like-
thoughts, Brian? I know you've done.
But if you don't put theaters in,
What's that?
only if you don't put theaters in, it's still usable after 4 weeks.
That's true. That's true. All right, there you
So-
go. Longevity.
Well, it's only in theaters for the next 7 days. Then coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah. How are we
This
doing?
is this an official Disney movie? Yeah, right. Because they're
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually Ryan came out with a clip saying, how did he put it? He said something like, "This is a big move for Disney, or it's a big step for Disney." He's like, "I'm not trying to be condescending, but like they're actually doing this kind of thing. It's big for them, you know." Tim J says, apparently my chat is lagging. You were asking what to call the holder for the swords. Oh yeah, scabbard. Oh, so he was answering you, D.Will. And then when you were trying to figure out what to look up. Oh, gotcha. That's all right, Tim. Appreciate your efforts.
I typed in sword holder doohickey in Google.
There you go. I think that's the official terminology.
You know?
You know what? For the sake of time, let me cheat a little bit because I'm not actually trying to sell this. If I was trying to sell it, then I don't know as this would actually be copaesthetic. But Marvel assets. Let me. What is it? My claw touch, not that one. Claw reference. It doesn't really matter, but let me duplicate that guy and whoop, goodbye. I'm gonna steal not the claws. I don't think I'm gonna steal the claws. The lighting wouldn't be right on the claws. So let me Command T, flip this guy. Is it done? It's good.
How you guys feel about the costumes for this movie?
Oh, dude, I mean, I think everybody, when we actually finally got to see Wolverine in his yellow and blue costume, I feel like this is what they do so well. They do fan service really well, but like in the right way.
Yeah.
It's not just let's act on nostalgia and for the sake of it. It's I really like it. Before I get your take on it, I'm going to show a little tip. So I need to mask out everything, but what I'm going to do is actually mask out, grab this guy, paint him black. I'm going to mask out this here, the parts that I actually want to keep, I'm masking out. And then I'm just going to invert the mask, and that makes it way easier. Actually, let me just bring my flow way up because I'm going to adjust this afterwards. This makes it way easier for me to know exactly where the parts are. Actually, why don't we just do this? Bingo bango. Oh, let's just take this whole thing. I'm going to mask out anyway. So, okay. So take this guy. The thing with Photoshop is there's a million ways to do the same thing. So if you have another way, that's cool. Command I, invert it. There we go. So now I got the piece that I actually want. And then, you know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to do this. Because if I were to, this is one of the times that I actually recommend copying and pasting something rather than just masking it. So if I were to rotate this or scale it, I'm rotating the entire image.
Mm-hmm.
And so one, I have to do it from out here rather than closer in like I was. So what I'm actually going to do, take this, there we go. I'm just going to take the bit that I want. I'm just going to copy this, say Command C on that layer, and then Command V. And now I have, come on, ready? Let's try that again. That's too much. I don't need that much. Hey, why is my wife calling me? She knows.
Sorry, I'm back. I was caching and it did things to my computer.
Oh. There we go. Okay. Let me just text her real quick because she knows I'm streaming. So. Mm-hmm. So, what's your take, D? You were asking about the
The costumes.
costumes, yeah.
I'm super stoked that they're getting a traditional, Wolverine costume in. I'm glad that, I guess towards the end of the movie it looks like that it's going to be sleeveless, because I gotta see Hugh's guns. You know what I mean? Can't just be out
Oh
here
yeah.
not showcasing the Wolverine guns. but
No, he worked hard, man.
yeah,
He's an older guy too.
yeah, Hugh Jackman, bro.
Yeah. If Hugh Jacked man can't do it, then what hope do we all have?
Oh man, there was this rumor a while ago saying that after Hugh Jackman was done, they were going to bring in Tom Hardy to play Wolverine. I thought that would be cool until I seen Harry Potter. People were
Oh
saying
yeah.
Harry Potter should be Wolverine. I'm like, you know what? He could do it.
Yeah.
What's his? Ah, shit. I feel bad for calling him Harry Potter. I know he has a real name.
Yeah, because I just had it actually, and now I'm thinking Mark Ruffalo, which is definitely not Harry Potter.
Oh man, I'll be that man. I would really love to see Wolverine versus Hulk live action.
Yes. Yep. So on my YouTube community tab where you can do the posts,
Mhm.
I'm trying to pay a little more attention to that. I never really get any traction with that. It just doesn't, community posts don't seem to do anything for me. I don't really get many people that react at all. So I just haven't put any attention to it. So I'm trying to do a little bit more because I'm doing these live streams. I'm gonna check it out. So I shared an article from, I think it was Vanity Fair, of what's his name, Hugh Jackman,
Mhm.
talking about getting this role. Right? He was like, I was done. I actually committed to it. He just thought that it would be such a cool idea to do it with Ryan that he committed to. He called Ryan up before he even called his publicist or his agent, and he told his agent like, "Hey man, so just so you know, I'm doing this thing," you know. And actually, Kevin Feige tried to warn him against doing it because the ending of Logan and the
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to say what the ending of Logan was because I know it's been a while, but I don't want to be that guy that spoils a movie. Even like, Sixth Sense, I don't want to ruin that.
He walks away into the sunset, right?
Mm.
Him and his bear buddy.
Yeah. So anyway, with Logan, this is a different timeline or a multiversal. Oh God,
It's multiverse.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not 616. It's something
Yeah.
else.
So now this. Okay. So
Oh,
go ahead.
unrelated to like Deadpool, but I'm not sure how many of you guys are Doom fans in the chat or on stream with us. But anybody pick up the one shot of Doom where they pay homage to MF Doom?
Can you see the back end, by the way, D.Will, of StreamYard?
Oh, yeah.
You can see the comments? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see them because I'm doing this. So, just let me know if somebody says something on it or react.
Oh, I'm watching it now that I'm done torching my CPU, caching.
And your camera
Like if-
from your computer, just like
Yeah.
looks in there.
Yeah, so I've kind of just given up. I was just like, oh man, like I did another sim and then all of a sudden everything just froze and I'm like, well, I'll be back when I'm back. So,
Yeah.
well, what it is I upper res that sim that I'm working on so that it's really cool. But the problem is it's got some artifacting that I can't get rid of. But whatever, it looks good.
Say just pack it with some ice.
She looks like she's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just checking in on my phone because Maggie knew that I was streaming and she called and she's actually past the time that she usually gets home. So Got to. So did anybody say anything about the Doom?
Oh, what happened?
You asked the question of the chat
Oh
about
yeah.
Doom. Did you call it MF Doom?
MF Doom, yes, my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah, why don't we tell us about it?
About MF Doom or about the comic?
Well, the whole point that you were making there.
Oh no, I just thought it was like dope because this is the first issue of Doom that's released since MF Doom's passing, and it's cool that they took lyrics from one of his more famous albums from the track Accordion and put it at the beginning of the book. And I was like, man, it's about time that Marvel acknowledges that MF Doom exists, and I feel like MF Doom, especially within hip hop culture, made Doom popular, like within the hip hop sphere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you were telling me about that the other day, and that's so cool to have that kind of callback to it.
Yeah, yeah. Like rest in peace, Doom.
Okay, I'm gonna link these guys. How do you spell sheath?
There's only one builder. SHETH. Sheath? No.
Well, no.
EATH?
Yeah, look it up. You're my you're my research guy. You don't have a program. You don't have a thing that you're working on tonight. So we got to figure out who Joe's guy is. Like you said.
Yeah, SHEATH. Sheath for swords.
SHEATH. Okay, that's how I have it spelled, but it doesn't look right.
Okay. Yeah, just because it doesn't look right doesn't mean it's not right.
Yes. Okay, so this isn't. So what I did here is I linked these layers so that I can rotate them together because I want this to.
Accordion is a great track. Shout out to Isaiah.
What's that?
Isaiah, Accordion is a great track. He knows. He knows. Mad Villain is one of my favorite albums of all time.
You said he passed away when?
I think 3 years ago. Am I tripping? Maybe 3-4 years ago, I believe. But he man, his life. I'm not gonna say his life was tragic, but just his persona, how he became Doom, is like, man, he went through a lot. Because he started off, as a regular rapper. Like he started off, his rapper name was Zeb Love X, and then one day his brother died and a few other things happened, and he just kind of went silent for a bit, and he came back with the persona of MF Doom because Doom, the comic book, inspired him, so he's the villain. He comes back as the villain and just created so much good music, and was one of the great, in my opinion, one of the greatest rappers ever out there. Actually, I got a few things. Let me see.
Okay. Right now, for those watching, I am replacing. I'm just gonna have each claw on its own layer, so then that way I can rotate these through and kind of fit them in better. So that is the right claw. So is Isaiah and Tim, are they some of your students, Bryan?
I'm not sure if that's Tim. I'm assuming it is. I'm not sure if that's the Tim I know, but Isaiah's.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. Yep. And so this piece right here, something that my friend, she painted. It's there's been a place for you in my heart since we first met. It's like a breakup song, and that's my breakup song when I break up with people. I'm like, oh man, it pulls me out of it.
Yeah.
But you got the Doom, and then this is the official issue of the one shot where they pay tribute to Doom, to MF Doom, in it.
Oh, nice. Very cool, man.
He's supposed to be the. I think he's supposed to be the big bad of Marvel since Kang is out.
Yeah, I've heard he's going to be part of that universe, but it does sound like it's going to be Silver Surfer / Galactus. That's what the big rumor is right now. Pretty excited about that, actually, if they could do Galactus right.
Yeah, well, not just a cloud.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Those VFX artists were all in on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Come on now.
Sorry,
Those
that's
VFX artists made a cloud.
my
What's
bad.
wrong with a cloud? I'm just kidding. No, it is honestly one of the worst Marvel characters of all time.
Oh man, you think they're gonna bring Lawrence Fishburne back to play Silver Surfer's voice?
Oh, that would be cool.
How about they just bring Lawrence Fishburne back?
Oh man, just have him as Silver Surfer. Just like
Yeah.
just an old Silver Surfer who doesn't really want to do it no more. Just like as long as the check cashes, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot he was the voice. He did a really good job. He's got such a good voice for that. One of the things that Marvel has done a really good job though with, especially since, well, when I noticed it was Spider-Man, when they brought all the Spider-Men together. That was a special moment for me because it was like it helped with the multiverse, kind of explain it better, and each one got such a good little send-off. Not a send-off isn't the right word. Andrew Garfield got a nice redemption arc. Not redemption arc, but he saves the girl. Again, I don't want to give away too many spoilers if people haven't watched it. You guys got to watch this stuff.
It's been out for 3 years now. If you haven't watched it, it's your fault. Like,
I didn't
go
say it,
watch
everybody.
these movies so we can talk about them.
Yeah.
There's like, who was it that said you have 8 months to watch a movie? After 8 months, it's your fault.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I wasn't mad about it because I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it. But Sixth Sense, I never saw that. And
your fault.
Right. And where I found out about it was Andy Samberg, what was that? Lonely Island? He said dead at the end of Sixth Sense. I was like, wait, what? It's like just that line of whatever that. Oh yeah, I remember the song. I'm not gonna sing it here.
I mean,
but you guys know what it is.
Don't even get me started on people not even seeing movies. So I had this one student. If Isaiah is here, he's gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. He's an amazing student. I think they were classmates for a while. But there was this one student who wanted to be a VFX artist, and he was in his portfolio classes, and he's super talented. Like, his stuff is so good. Like, he was doing like a lizard chase scene in Unreal. It was so good. Like, the camera work was so good. Anyways, I walked up to him and I was trying to like give him examples for reference to use. Like, I think I was like, oh, have you seen or actually what I said was, so in Star Wars A New Hope, when Han Solo's running through the hallway, is I've never seen that movie. And I was like, what? Like, you're joking with me, right? He goes, I was like, okay. So then I was like, okay, well then the Velociraptors in Jurassic World, when they're chasing after, I haven't seen that movie either. I was like, what? And so I go through this laundry list of movies this guy has not seen. They're all like blockbuster visual effects movies. And I'm like, why are you studying this? Like, how are you studying this? Like, what got you into this industry that you wanted to do visual effects, but you haven't seen any major any movie that has had visual effects, like trend-setting visual effects. Anyways, we kept going down to this list, and I finally get to a movie that he has seen, and it was like some random movie. And I'm like, dude, like, come on. You got to be kidding me.
Well, yeah, that's okay. So especially with what, like, I don't know how you study this stuff and not study it. Yeah. I feel like if you were really to get into that, like, I'm not in the movie industry, but I love the cinema side of it, and that's what helps to inform my video creation and my editing, like even with this stuff, right? It helps inform that with like the story side of it. I don't know how you get into VFX and not see these things, even just from like an understanding of how they did it in the past, so that you can do things similarly or just completely different,
Yeah.
you know, or even see the stylistic choices, you know. I
Yeah.
don't know how that works, but
maybe I'm just different. I'm built different. I don't know. Like I don't know. I agree with you, by the way. It's
Yeah.
just weird. But
I'm looking at so I'm trying to shade this in properly, and I feel like that's what it is. So these claws, if you look here, they're very bright. Obviously, they would be, because
Kind of
they're
feels like
reflective. They're adamantium.
yeah, they got like a comic booky art.
Yeah, but I want to kind of change it around a little bit, because this is way too bright right here compared to like the light that's coming in. So this needs to have a little bit of extra shadow thrown on this side of it. So that's what you can see. Like I blended this a little bit. I'll play with that a little bit more afterwards if I need to. But I need to. This is with compositing. Is speaking to the chat here. Compositing is all about lighting. If you can get the lighting and the quality of the pixelation or the blurriness or whatever to be consistent, then that is going to help you with your composite, bar none. Honestly, it's the lighting, number one, and then obviously if like this section here, if his whole leg and everything is blurry, then the claws shouldn't be sharp. So that's the other thing too. So there is, I'd say that his boot is pretty sharp, but it might be, I might need to put just a little bit of blur on this. But really the lighting is the first thing to get. So how are we looking on time here? 8:30. So okay. Sorry, did I interrupt anybody in their train of thought?
I interrupt myself in my train of thought.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as you don't fight with yourself, that's the only thing you really have to worry about.
No comment.
So let's see. We're gonna say organized. We're gonna group that and say shading, and so that we're going to just keep it. And I'm actually gonna say shading dash claws. So this is how I like to do things. Is like if I have multiple shadings or like claws, you can see here. Like I'll put in claw sheath, claw mid, claw left, claw right. It's just my own personal way of doing stuff. You could say mid claw, you could say right claw. These are the only two ways you could ever possibly be right, is to say mid claw or claw mid. If you do it any other way, you're wrong. So, you know. What was that contentious thing that you said one time, D.Will, on our podcast?
Which one?
Is the pizza. You said deep dish pizza was better or Chicago style pizza?
Oh yeah. I'm all about the Chicago thin crust over the New York slice.
Yeah. And that's okay, because you're talking about New York and I'm in Mass, so we don't have any love for
Don't you guys got the New Haven style?
New Haven style.
Yeah, that's what what's the dude's name from the pizza show? One Bite. You know, he goes around taking one bite of pizza. When he takes like 3 bites, and he gives it a score. But his favorite style is New Haven.
I have no idea, man.
Barstool, whoever the owner of Barstool Media is, he goes around tasting pizzas. And he says,
Nope, no idea.
Oh man, you out the loop, bro. He's giving love to New Haven.
When you come out here,
wait, is that Connecticut?
New Haven, Connecticut, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So depending on who you talk to, it is part of New England, but it's kind of like that little brother that you pick on all the time. Connecticut is. So we got Connecticut is the younger brother that you don't really, well, it's kind of like that younger brother that's in jail that you don't want to admit to. That's what Connecticut is.
Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, and then you have New Hampshire is that crazy uncle, the one that everybody has to listen to at the dinner table, you know, when you get together for Thanksgiving. Vermont is the older brother that, the older brother that went to college and got really fancy. This is all in relation to Massachusetts, by the way. So, and who else do we got? I said Vermont. Maine is like the mom. Maine actually used to be part of Massachusetts way back in the day, and Massachusetts just Massachusetts. And then who else we got? Oh yeah, Rhode Island, which is like the little brother that, you know.
You know what? I always forget about Rhode Island.
Yeah, a lot of people do. It's small, but it's such a cool place. And, okay, so for all my New Englanders, I'm not hating on any of you, including Connecticut. All of New England pretty much is beautiful. I freaking love it. But if you go into the subreddits, you'll see a lot of hate for Connecticut. So,
if you could get rid of one state, which would it be?
New Hampshire.
New England?
Just like in the United States.
Oh,
one state.
Kentucky. I have no reason to say that other than just.
I was like, what? Bluegrass music? Come on, man.
No, okay. I'm not looking for any hate here. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out. I don't even know how big it is. I'm just trying to think. Of,
that's gonna end up in a reel.
Yeah.
Like Dave hates Kentucky. You don't like chicken?
I love chicken.
You know,
okay. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm getting back to the chat here. I just want to make sure that I'm not causing any ruckus. I was worried that everybody was just going to be like exploding. What you got against Kentucky? Oh, Isaiah says Lonely Island was the best growing up. Nobody cared who I was until I put the mask on.
How about you, Bryan?
There you go.
What state you getting rid of?
Oh, dude, New Hampshire, man, all the way. Get rid of that. You get a hole right there, and you're better off.
What do you get against New Hampshire, man?
No, I don't. I just have a funny feeling I have somebody watching this is from New Hampshire. So.
Oh, very good. Very easily could be.
Yeah. That's gonna end in a reel.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. Like, you got me thinking because we were talking. I don't know how we started talking about it earlier because I'm Mr. Tangent over here, but we were talking about like what gets you into this industry. Like, I mean, you were talking about seeing movie posters.
Yeah,
it's kind of fascinating because for me, it's not the big blockbuster visual effects that like blow me away. It's the little ones, right? Like I grew up one of those movies. Like, I don't know if you guys ever did this when you were a kid, but did you have like that movie that on VHS, or maybe I'm dating myself a little bit, but on VHS where you would just play the movie, take it out, rewind it, right, and then play it again, rewind it, play it again, rewind it. Okay, for me, I had two movies. All right, one movie was Return of the Jedi, and the second was Back to the Future Part 3, because I had a thing for trains, and I still do, to be honest with you. But I love trains. Okay, all right, but there's a shot, and I'm gonna ask you guys. I know how it was done. I'm curious. Do you guys want to play a little game and try and figure out how the shot was done?
Yeah,
Back to the Future Part 3. All right. Keep in mind, this movie came out in 1990. All right. So,
are you gonna share a screen or?
Yeah, I'm gonna share it now. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, it was done using computer generated imagery." It doesn't work that way. Okay. So let me know when you guys are ready.
Okay,
I'm gonna maximize my screen here.
Okay. I'll hit play.
And we can't hear it.
Oh, I didn't share my audio. My bad.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't need to hear it if we don't need to hear it.
No, it's even better with the audio. Let me Windows.
I really liked that's number 3, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they go, I really liked the Old West one. I know a lot of people.
Affairs, but
Yeah.
exactly. How was it that you came to be?
You know, it was filmed in Kentucky, right?
Of course.
Right. Watch this right here. How did they do this shot? Right there. How's that shot done?
Well,
Think about it.
Oh,
Okay.
down.
Do you want to go, D.Will, or?
Boots or a hat?
Think about
I
it.
know.
It's the same actor, right?
Yeah.
Marty McFly playing.
I think
Or,
what they did
yeah.
was they had a double and he actually hands it off to that, and then they actually like
Or a hat?
actually.
Well,
Well, there's a little wiggle on there, so I don't know if it's maybe a okay. So the way that I was thinking was that they actually have a double, like maybe in a green bodysuit, and he is actually moving it, and then they just have they reverse the shot so So the mustached Michael J. Fox is handing it off to the guy in the green suit, and then they take another shot and do the same thing but reverse it. So now the mustache guy is actually a green screen guy, so that the younger Michael J. Fox can actually accept it from him, and they just kind of like blend it. That's my thought.
Yeah,
Is that right?
kind of.
Okay. Because and the reason why I was thinking that is because in Lord of the Rings they do something similar when Gandalf comes into the Hobbit house at first. He hands his hat and I think his staff off to Bilbo, and so Bilbo's in the actual Hobbit house, and Gandalf is actually on a green screen, but he actually has a practical thing to bump his head on, the candelabra or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so
But
like, yeah, go ahead.
But look at this shot right here. How good is this? Watch this.
Oh no, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Watch the baby. Watch the baby.
Yeah, and I like how they had her walk in front to help with that handoff.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's like no.
Coming up.
That like honestly, if I didn't absorb so much of the Lord of the Rings stuff, because that's just such an insane cinema experience and how they did stuff with forced perspective, and like there's a video that I saw recently with some visual effects guys talking all about it, and like it's insane how crazy they get with a lot of the practical stuff, like the way that they have forced perspective but then also have the camera as like they're moving for the forced perspective, they're actually adjusting the camera angle. Anyway, there's a whole thing to it, and like this is like it's great. It's clean too. Like you wouldn't really.
Yeah. Well, it's not that clean. Like you notice it. Like watch him hand the doll over. It's a doll, right? And then watch what they have in front. I'll even go frame by frame here. Watch this. So you see her come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, she goes out. That's real, right? That's Leah Thompson. But then right here, watch this. This is like a frozen frame of that same person just moving across the screen really fast. Watch this. It's frozen. Yeah, see, she's not even moving. You can even see the matte line here, because the way they did it back then, by the way, is they had to go in and paint. They actually painted on a plate on the film, because this was film. This is before digital. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at that. But it's done so fast, and it's frozen. It's frozen.
Yeah.
Like even the noise, the grain is frozen. It is so well done. Like you never notice it. And people are like, man, that's some bad visual effects. Now that is gold. That's why I work in this industry. And then look at the baby. By the way, the baby is real in this shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they just swapped the baby for the other one. And it was close enough, right? And then going back to this one, yeah, you're pretty spot on. That's what they actually kind of did. What they actually do here is, because they have to shoot this 3 times. So you have to keep this plate as still as possible. I actually did this shot for my thesis when I was in school, and it was incredibly hard. I have twin sisters, so a lot of people don't know that. And so what I was able to do was to take a shot of my sister handing herself a phone. And so her twin sat next to her, and we did a couple of takes of them going back. But I realized really quickly after the fact that the phone that they were handing to each other was never in the same spot. But if you notice, they have a locked camera here. And so what you don't see, it's kind of hard to see because they actually paint it out. There is a pole underneath of a person, literally underneath the table, handing over the plate. And they just keep doing this over and again for every single take. And then Michael J. Fox just kind of flips spots. And that's how they get it done. And then in edit, they put it together. Yeah, so you can actually see the paint right there. That's all paint.
Okay. Because I noticed when you were asking us how to do this, I was like, there's a little wobble to that plate that doesn't feel right. And I thought, oh, maybe it's on strings or something. But when he's handing it over, there's a little bit of a wobble that doesn't feel quite right. But again, that's, nitpicking. Yeah. But like this is it's such a good good movie. And these are things that you don't notice really unless you're looking for it.
Right. And what's make this so good is like a good VFX artist, or at this time a special effects artist, is sitting back there and going, that's so funny. That is such a good idea. But everybody else in the theater is like, could you shut up? Like, we're trying to enjoy the movie, and they have no idea what's going on. And it's like, and I'm that special effects artist, by the way, guys. So yeah, it's just so well done. Like everything here. I mean, this is before computers. I mean, yeah, you could have used a computer on this one, but they didn't need to use a computer. It's just so well done. It is so funny though. They just literally took a photo of Leah Thompson's back and just had it go. Yeah. And just think, what are some of the things that you guys have done on your art that people just won't notice? I mean, I've done such random stuff to get by.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Well, okay, so even in going to that, so like working in the industry, it's one thing to have hours to agonize over, the clause that I'm working on, but when I'm getting paid and trying to do like a legit job, I don't have hours to work on this stuff. So you have to just like, how can I cover this up to be good enough for the deliverable? Because is anybody really going to like agonize over it? Are they going to notice, or do I just need to make it good enough so that like in that scenario where it was a frozen person going across, the action was so quick and your eyes are going from, oh, there's the baby, right? So you don't even really notice. And that's really what it's about. Unless, so you got to be careful with designing or taking photographs or whatever, that you're not designing for other designers. You're designing for your client. And that's where I think a lot of us get stuck of like, I know I could do way better and I got to be able to show off to my designer friends. And it's not them that I need to impress. It's clients. And I think that's where not getting stuck in the weeds is really important. So,
Yeah, I just wanted to show that. So, all right, it's yours now, by the way. Okay. I just deactivated my share screen. But yeah, like, I just wanted to share that because I was like, oh, now I'm going on Tangentville in my head.
Well, and actually, speaking of which, because I am down on the wire, I'm going to leave the claws alone as they are because they look okay. There's a little bit. I'm going to work on this off camera. A couple things I'm going to work on is that like I don't want this shadow to be cast on his leg as much. But what I was trying to do was add some shadow onto the claw itself so that they're not so bright. And casting some shadow, totally cool, but it shouldn't be that dark. So I'm going to play with that when I'm off camera. But I do have, like I said, I have a hard stop and I have to be done no later than 10 minutes from now. So what I'm going to do is kind of play around with, what do you guys think of the text? I feel like it's a little too...
It's Comic Sans.
Yeah, yes. Okay, Comic Sans it is.
What? Oh my gosh, I'm leaving. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Wait, Papyrus. I should use Papyrus. Guys, if you don't know, maybe I'll link it. I'll link it. You know what? D.Will, find me the Papyrus.
So butthurt.
Papyrus and Papyrus 2. They made a second Papyrus.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Give me that
one.
link. We need to throw that in the comments.
I didn't have enough pain. I didn't have enough pain before. Now you have to add more pain in the sequel. No, Papyrus 2.
No, this is happening.
Papyrus 2. Let me see.
Why not just use the Price is Right font at this point, right? Like everybody else does.
Or we could go get crazy and go wingdings. We want to
Papyrus. Here we go.
There you go. Let me throw it in the chat real quick.
Okay, come together and then
searching for music for your next video.
No, I'm searching for music. Comic Sans. Whoops. Nice. I feel like maybe this actually needs to be Papyrus. If we're gonna do this right, Papyrus.
It's just Papyrus bold.
No lie. My last job, I had to do some internal. This is great. I love it. I had to do some internal posters, like a hey, there's a party going to happen. I don't remember. It's like a barbecue or something like that. And they legitimately wanted me to use Comic Sans because it was so fun.
Oh,
I can't tell you.
Your last job was my last job.
Yeah, you know who it is that I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's when I came in as a designer, and they're like, "Oh, you need to design this poster," and they're like, "Balloons. We want more balloons." I'm like, okay, so I threw in some balloons, and I told you earlier, Brian, I'm a minimalist when it comes to designing. And no, like when they said more balloons, like I had like 6, and I was like, that's a lot of balloons. And they're like, no, add more balloons. They wanted hundreds of balloons on this thing. So anyway, okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, here we go. This is the new Marvel official poster, guys. Boom.
It is. There it is.
All right, what do you guys think? That's Comic Sans and Papyrus. I still got to work on those claws.
No, they work together.
They work together though. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
It's a thing.
Those
I'm
are
gonna take my fonts and move to Kentucky.
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Those are 2 very legit fonts on a poster.
Yep. So I'll end up throwing that when I'm done with it. Maybe I don't think I'll be able to finish it tonight because, like I said, I gotta go in a little bit. But I will throw that up on my channels when I'm done with it, and just see what we come up with. I'll probably, just for you, Brian, I will make a non-Comic Sans version, non-Papyrus.
My heart just was healed.
I know. Yeah. You're welcome.
Can cure heart attacks. Can cure heart attacks.
It's gonna be wingdings.
Oh no.
So let's see.
Proxima Nova at this point, or Oswald. Use Oswald. Just keep it vanilla.
Oswald? Okay.
Times New Roman while you're at it, please.
Oh my God! Yeah, Times New Roman, size 12 font.
D, Trajan Pro.
D, did you get me the Papyrus?
Yeah, I dropped it in the chat.
You did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, is that? Oh, you put it in the private chat.
No, I put it in
Hold on.
in the main chat.
No, yeah, yeah, okay. Wait, where? I don't see it.
Huh.
Guys, I think he's lying. Hold on. I don't see it. Hold on. Do I got to go over to YouTube?
Because I can't add on the back end.
Yeah, just can you go to like?
No, let me see.
Like regular? Can you go to regular YouTube? How many media specialists does it take to put a link into a YouTube comment?
All of them.
5.
Yeah, and we only got 3 here, so. You get it? I don't see it, D. Do I have to do this myself? I'm gonna have to do this myself.
I don't know why it won't let me add it into the chat.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find it. Guys, if you don't know Papyrus, you have to watch this. I'm gonna throw this in the chat. This is Papyrus number 1. Please watch that. And then Papyrus number 2. This is gonna be Papyrus number 2.
I wonder why yours showed reminding.
Mine go through because I'm better, I guess.
Yeah.
There we go. This is Papyrus number 2. That's number 1 and number 2. Papyrus 2 just came out
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it says a month ago. So, what's his name?
It's his best movie ever. Ryan Gosling.
Yes, Ryan Gosling. Yeah. So good. Well, guys, I think that's gonna be time. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about, share, whatever, in the next couple of minutes?
Yeah, I actually have to peace out here pretty soon too. But if you want to see what actually destroyed my computer while we were live, here you go.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. Entire screen, share my audio, share, and this is where it's at.
Oh, nice.
And that's why my computer died.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're trying to stream at the same time, so it's like destruction.
Yeah.
Nice. That's what you're actually rendering is really what your CPU, what is happening to your CPU is just exploding.
It's exploding. Yeah. It's the little bit of that implosion right now. You don't need a superhero to land. Just throw your laptop out the door.
Yeah.
Get some pyro going. I mean, honestly, like if you jokes aside, I showed this at the beginning of the stream, but this one right here, like I said, it took 2 hours to render, so it pretty much did destroy my CPU.
Yeah.
Looks good though.
Yeah, that's so sick. All right, guys, tell people where they can find you.
Go ahead, D.Will.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Untapped TV. I do interviews with local artists in the community. So if you guys are interested in learning about some, i.e., hip hop, and hip hop around other regions, feel free to drop by, check it out, and give me a subscribe.
It's some good stuff. So I'll link that in the description below. And yeah, I mean, you guys, we're always collaborating. How about you, Bryan?
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, X, Instagram. Bryan Holt Media is my website. Bryan Holt FX is my YouTube. It's all the same. If you type Bryan Holt Media, it'll be the same. I'm posting a lot of content. I'm probably trying to do more and more of these live streams. Also do some solo live streams as well too. I'm thinking of just doing more VFX React content. You guys seem to love that. So
yeah.
But also with more tutorials. So I am working on a long form tutorial right now, like a 2-hour long video, a masterclass on destroying ground. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But I do have to peace out too. So I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. And thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone who joined. We will see you next week. Same time, same Dave channel here on YouTube. And until next time, good to each other.